Isiolo fire accident has definitely burned down the whole dormitory, and definitely no one was injured, and there was a lot of things that happened at that particular place. You know what? This is Eve Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what was happening in that particular incident. You know, fire broke up in this particular school. Definitely, I'm talking about Isiolo Girls High School, and definitely it burnt out the whole dorm. Kids were at the entertainment hall, but at that particular moment, same time, the dormitory busted into flames, but to the hole in the ground, and I'm just left wondering, oh no, this is happening once again. Is it the lead particular the election that we are heading? There is this particular year back in 2016. 2016 is when a lot of schools were being burned, school after school. Remembering yesterday, there are two schools that burned down. One is that, the other one is Kagonye Secondary. Kagonye Secondary, uh, it was definitely in the midday. Now it burned down, and fire was so much. Kagonye is in Nyeri, but Isiolo is in Isiolo County. So definitely you cannot say they are from all same county, and it is definitely frightening at this particular moment, seeing what has happened also in Nyeri, another particular tragedy that killed more than 22 now. It is 22 who have been dead from that particular incident fire, and also there are 80 kids missing right now. So I'm definitely even having this a lot of particular question. Why are these particular kids missing? Please tell me, because I don't understand this particular point here, that there are kids that are missing. Kids missing, 80 kids. 80 kids is not a small number. It's a large number. It's a big number. You know, so when you look to that particular number, you can definitely see that there is something that is not adding up in this whole particular narrative, because try and tell me and make me understand how other particular kids left and were being found. So you can definitely say that kids are, learn away. Okay, so they learn away, and during the day they could have come back and said, you know what, it is over the news, all over the news. The deputy president was at our school. Who definitely a child cannot, you know, cannot be able to to return the school when they hear deputy president on that in particular school. It is not possible. So I tend to think that this is a cover up. Might be on this particular story of Hillside Academy at Endarasha, I tend to think that it is definitely a cover up. Look at this particular situation. 80 kids is not a small number. If they could have been burned in that particular dormitory, either they could be seen because they could be bones, and if they were not that particular dormitory, or if they were in that particular dormitory and they ran away, they could have definitely come back in the morning. Or what the hell should boys run away from school and go far away? 80 boys, and definitely they are not to be seen. It is not possible. Something is not adding up in that particular situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think so. What is your thought in that particular fire incident? Because according to me, there is something that is not adding up in that particular situation. I imagine there is. Tell me, what the hell are these particular people from? Maybe you sacrifice these particular boys, because I can't remember back in 2010 It happened a fire accident in Endarasha boys, you know, which is owned by this particular owner of Hillside Academy. At that particular fire, there was a kid, a boy that died in that particular fire. So we can definitely not say that it is a coincidence of fire happening in these particular two schools. It is not a coincidence. Maybe there is something to do with spirituality or something that we tend not to know. Tell me, 80 kids. 80 kids is not a small number. Mind you, there is no one out of those particular 80 kids have reached home. You know, there is a town around that particular area. One thing I definitely know that when those particular guys could have left the school, everyone knows a number belonging to their parents. So they could have definitely taken out their phones and called their parents and say, oh no, this happened and this and this and this, but we are okay right now. You know, it could be like that. But this of 80 kids disappearing, one, it could be the 80 kids. Maybe the government is not ready to talk about it, maybe because they perished in that particular fire. Maybe the government don't want that particular number to be put out in the public, because when it comes to matters pertaining numbers, when the number is too big, the government tries as fast as possible not to expose that particular number outside, because it could haunt them. It could not definitely work for them, you know. So they tend to play some particular game of politics in that particular situation. But also, it can also be not government covering up, it might be the owners of that particular school covering up a very terrible situation. And that might be burning out a dormitory. Because tell me what the hell happened that a dormitory that has 3 doors, all of these particular 3 doors were closed. No one particular door that was open at that particular time. Some particular guys managed to go out, you know, through windows. It is for those people who were able to break the windows, you know, because some other particular windows were grilled. So you can definitely look at that particular station and be like, oh no, this is not good at all. It doesn't look good. Imagine. So that particular incident made a lot of people, you know, they could not believe that this was happening. Imagine. This was happening to our own school, to our own kids, that 80 kids have disappeared all at once. Nobody's, no, you know, no one has been found. You know, people tend to say that maybe they were taken out by villagers. Villagers took out kids to do what with them? And if they took kids out, they could have, because everyone now, right now, has a phone. And looking at that particular school where it is located, it is just in a leech place. Definitely, I can't let me really say that. It is in a leech place. So I don't see, no one in that particular area doesn't have a phone. I guarantee you. So for the government to come out and say 80 kids are still missing, the school management saying that they don't know where these particular kids, wow, I tend to think it might be a cover up. It might be. Because, and the government not serious with the investigation and knowing what started this particular, or what triggered this particular fire. Because look at this particular situation. The dormitory is not powered by, you know, the electricity, the normal electricity. it is powered by solar power energy. So you can definitely see that solar power energy is one of the cleanest energy and the safest energy. So when it comes that solar power energy banned the whole, the whole dormitory, it raises a lot of questions with safety, because I cannot disagree, because I know both are dangerous, because both can cause fire incidences. But another thing to note in that particular school, there were fire extinguishers, they were everything, but they were empty. There was no water. Even I heard some people saying that if there was water in that particular school, they could have managed to put out the fire before it went out blazing hot. Because before that, it was definitely cool. There was not a lot of things, but you know what? It was what it was. Definitely, or suddenly, it just happened, and it broke our hearts. 20 kids. I am being told right now they are 21. 21 kids die on the spot. 14 gathered a lot of injuries. They are in a very critical condition in the hospital. 80 kids are still missing. And so on and so on. And other particular stories. Then here comes parents going to that particular school not able to identify their kids' bodies because they were burned so bad. You know, fire is not an unusual thing. When fire from a dormitory comes out, the dormitory consists of a lot of mattresses, a lot of blankets, and when you burn in that particular mattress, or you burn completely, it is bad. No one can be able to recognize their keys. So just imagine the tension there is in that particular school. You know why? Because 80 kids are not being seen, and these particular kids lying there, they are unidentifiable. No one is able to identify them. So please tell me, between that is, let me tell you, more than 100 parents out there are crying so much because they don't know if their kids are among the 20 that have burned or among the 80 that have vanished. Something is not right. Something needs to be done. They are telling us that, you know what, DNA should be done to know which kid is for who. But, DNA can be so easy when other particular kids, the 80 missing kids, the 80 missing boys, are found. But if they are not found, it's such a mess. But I definitely know one particular thing. That particular school should be closed. Because I don't think there is any particular parent who would be able to put their, kids to continue learn in that particular environment, because it is dangerous. Remember, this is a private school. And private schools, each and every particular parents, have that particular decision to make, that if my child is going to remain in this particular school or just move out. But suddenly or definitely, it might be. It might be the last particular time for those kids to continue learning in that particular situation. Another thing to note is parents have now vowed not ever to take their parents to boarding schools again. Imagine how parents are being traumatized. Imagine how those particular kids who survived the incidents are traumatized. They are like, you know what? I cannot study in this particular school anymore. And in my whole life, I'll never attend a boarding school. Because there will be definitely one bad situation, because they will keep imagining this. They are young, and young guys tend to have those particular memories so fast. It is not like for grown-ups. So they will tend to remember this all of the years. All of the years, just imagine that. Remembering that there was a fire incident that broke out at Endarasha High School, killed a lot of my buddies, you know, and then you hear some of these classmates. So just imagine someone who has lost more than 5 classmates in that particular fire incident. It could be bad. It could be totally bad. And they will be traumatized so much, so they just need to go to undergo therapy. I tend to think that that particular school should compensate these particular kids by making them undergo a therapy session, all of them, because everyone in that particular school is traumatized, you know. But at the end of the day, the head teacher is, or the director of that particular school is answerable, because there is no way you can be able to learn that particular school without proper safety. I'm talking about equipment like fire extinguishers and water and other, good conditions for the dormitory. But you know what? See these particular big boarding schools, they are being owned by top politicians in our country. Politicians, once they look after, it's only money. That's where definitely people will draw the line. But something to note is, definitely no one is arrested for this particular situation. They are still investigating the cause of fire, and I'm just left wondering. You are just seeing this and taking it for granted. Look at that particular situation very clearly. For another fire that broke out at Isiolo Girls, for Isiolo Girls, no one knows what caused the fire. It just happened last particular night, and it went gun blazing, burning the whole dormitory, which was in flames. And when you could particularly look at that particular flame, you can't imagine. Some particular years back, I was in high school, and so many years back, it is definitely a lot of years back. I was in high school, and fire used to break up when we are striking and domes were burned to the ground. And I can remember the magnitude of that particular fire. When a fire broke up at the dormitory, you could not help. You just have to watch it burn the whole dormitory to ground. Because when it comes to safety, safety matters a lot. The dormitory consists a lot of beds, a lot of mattresses, a lot of products in the boxes. So you cannot try to go inside to try to do. It is like a drop in the ocean, what you are going to try and do. Just imagine there is a whole ocean here, and there is a drop of water. Then you try to put that particular drop of water into this widespread ocean. It could be termed as useless, because it will not make any particular difference. You understand that? That's it. That's how definitely this particular putting out fire in dormitories could look like. It is unmanageable. You cannot be able to manage that. Maybe if you are having a fire extinguisher, but it will not definitely do a lot of justice. In fact, the work of the fire extinguishers lie all fire extinguisher makes the fire not to spread so far. But if it has spread in a very wide area, you cannot manage. You cannot manage. one particular thing that people don't know about fire engines, they are not meant to put out the whole fire. They are not meant to prevent accidents or incidences. They are meant for rescue and preventing more damage. That is what people don't know. Because you cannot protect the whole thing. Because I tend to hear from people that if you weren't there, it could not have burned. Okay, you could have put it in this particular manner. If you could have been there, you could have managed and minimized this particular damage. You know, a simple correction at that particular place. So this particular fire that broke out in Isiolo Girls, it is so hard to explain this because this is a girls' school and a lot of villagers came out to help. But you know what? They were just locked outside because look at this. It is definitely a girls' school. Even if the fire is burning so much, you cannot allow the girls at night to interact with villagers. It is not possible. It can never happen because you definitely hear some cases that several particular girls are pregnant for this particular fire, and so on and so on and so on. Because we tend to say that men are always men. So you cannot allow that particular thing to happen. That is the main reason where they just made these particular niggas outside and locked them. Because remember, this is a girls' school. Even if you are going to rescue them, not in that particular way. So people are just watching from the fences and see it is burning, because it was a tricky, dangerous situation. If you understand it, well and good. If you don't, maybe this is not meant for you. But you know what? This has been it. My good name is Santo Jenga, and this is Eve Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and share any day, anytime. Bye bye for now. Peace.